Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, bro, Comrade, how are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. I wasn't sure if you could hear me.
Is the family okay?
Yes, sir. How about you?
Great to see you again. Great to see your face.
Yes, sir. Good to see you. Yes. Did you
Yeah.
have any problem logging in at all?
No, no, not at all. Not at
Okay,
all.
great,
Not at all.
great.
I don't. I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, it's good that we are having a chat today again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. I have been struggling with my lower back. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's for the past few days. Really have been in pain. But
Oh,
it's an
wow.
it's an it's an old problem. But well, when we are getting old, and above all the things that happens to us in the world, we have to try and cope, isn't it?
Yeah, right. We don't have any options. We don't have a lot of
Oh, we
options.
don't, we don't, we don't.
Yes.
Yeah, but what about you? What about you?
Oh, no, we're doing fine. Working, trying to
Mm.
deal with this pandemic thing.
Yeah,
I'm ready for it to be over so we can
it
go back.
will, it will, it will be over soon.
Yeah.
Because the human race is a very big race. I think that since we're on top of the chain, we will overcome anything. My work is done now online. Currently, the work is being done online by some of our employees.
Okay. Okay.
I try to coordinate that on Saturdays, but today I'm really trying to devote this couple of hours on this. They can deal.
Yes.
They can deal with it. So
Oh, that's
now,
good.
yeah, yeah. There are a few parents who came on. Kwame, this it's not working well for me, so I provided gap. So I have my phone here. If there's a problem, they'll link up.
They link up with you. Always in touch, right?
Yeah, yeah.
These days with the technology, you're not far
That
away.
they will link up because I have been supporting 44 African Caribbean children who are in education having difficulties, and we
Okay.
have we have teachers that deliver core subjects
Okay.
every Saturday for 4 hours
Oh, that's nice. That's great. Great.
online. So yeah, it's been going on. This is the 15th year I've been running this.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's only the COVID that has moved us from face to face to online, but
Well,
uh,
yeah.
life is not going to be the same like it used to be. We have to accept.
No. Yeah, the
Yeah,
changes are
mm,
permanent. Some of the
yeah,
changes are permanent,
complete.
so
As
that's good.
long as we can get the funders to understand why we are doing that, that's so
Yes.
be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but I think everybody has to be aware that, when
Mm,
we
mm,
quote unquote normal, it's going to be a
mm.
different normal than it was
Yeah,
before.
that's
Mm.
correct. That's correct.
Accept it and deal with
Mm,
it. It's like
mm.
when you go to Ghana and you expect things to work like they work abroad. It doesn't. So
Yeah,
you have to deal with it, right?
yeah.
That's,
In fact, I'm trying to deliver a similar project for Ghanaian students in Accra.
oh,
So,
okay,
so I'm planning doing a visit hopefully next month.
okay, okay,
I have already shipped a lot of PCs and laptops, which
oh,
I have been supplying schools
okay,
in the place because some of our students don't even know how to operate anything.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but I have decided that the best thing to do is to put together a learning project, a scheme,
uh-huh,
where
uh-huh.
in the morning on Saturdays or even during the week, uh,
Yeah.
I have teachers here, 6 teachers, who will be delivering the online.
What grade level?
No, not from year one. Those in year one up to year 11, secondary school.
Secondary school. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's one of the new projects I'm trying to put together. I've just sent in to Accra 20 PCs.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it will be put in a center with projector screen and projectors so that
Mhm.
when the teachers are delivering from here with a
Yeah.
very good Wi-Fi or broadband,
Yes.
it can be delivered for the students back home as
Then
well.
see. Oh,
Something
that's
that I'm very determined I want to do.
yeah, yeah. No, that's
So
good. That's
yeah,
good. It'd be helpful to
yeah,
students.
I'm planning to go to do a visit to Ghana hopefully next month.
Okay. Okay.
Just a couple of weeks or so to begin to put the things together.
Yeah. Where in Accra are you going to be? Is this going to be based?
It's going to be based at Teshinungua.
Oh, Teshinungwa. Okay.
Yeah, my properties are Teshinungwa, and I'm trying to build a very long, broad hall at the front of the property where these services can be delivered. But if it becomes so big, I will be prepared to hire a big hall or a big center. Yeah, because education with also its associated PC usage is very important for our children in Ghana.
Yes.
So it's something, the combination is something that I want to do.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
You know, because I think, you know, exposing them to how things work is very important, you know. So you chew and memorize, you know, practical things have gone practical. So
I've also tried to engage some schools here because the children I work with are in various schools. I'm planning to engage in the student exchange programs.
Okay.
We have been doing it already for the past 15 years. How do you call it? British Airways have been supporting my organization to take a lot of students to Ghana every year since 2008.
Okay.
And we work with schools back in Accra as well. So one of the things I want to do now is to be able to collaborate with the schools there and here. Even if you get 10 students who can come in and spend 6 months here, in a school environment to learn all sorts of things, even ICT, even anything. So that is the next step for hopefully next year.
Okay. What's the name of your organization?
It's called the Youth Learning Network Limited. It's a charitable organization.
Youth
Learning Network. When you Google it, you'll find it.
Yeah, let me write that down.
Youth Learning Network Limited.
That's interesting. It's, you know, I'm always interested in
I'm trying to just do that to encourage our sisters, our children back home and here. Almost over 200 students from here who are African Caribbeans have taken them to Ghana. Normally it's 14 days, and they've enjoyed it. They've learned a lot. They've learned a lot about Africa, Ghana, and also about who they are. So I want to do that as long as I live.
Yeah, no, that's great, because to me, I think, you know, it gets to the point where we have to look to the future, because right now the present, trying to change the present is banging your head against a brick wall.
But the changes will come. It will happen. Because the success quo cannot remain, because even the ruling elite themselves, they know that they can't continue to do the things they're doing to our people.
You know, it's funny. I was reading an article this morning on Ghana Web. It was a gospel musician. I forget what his name was. And he was saying that, you know, maybe democracy is not meant for Ghana. And, you know, it was, I don't know if I agree with him, but it was an interesting take. He's saying, you know, when the soldiers, when military is in charge, Ghanaians step in line, they do everything they do. And when they're not democracy, you have to make songs to tell people not to urinate and defecate on the beaches. You know.
No, you can understand that, and sometimes you can be made to believe it. But the problem has been that the ruling elite in the civilian suit, you know, their arrogance and the way they behave. You know, when people get angry, they don't want to respect the laws anymore. When people are upset about everything, oh, who cares? Oh, what else? And I think that even though it's horrible and terrible, that is the thing that we all need to work to overcome, because the civilian rule, the people in democracy is fine, you know, but the people who are put in power, they don't give a damn. Look,
it's all about their pockets. It's all about their pockets.
I was watching a documentary, and even the parliamentarians, the amount of money they've cut for themselves.
Oh,
and some of them are even talking about when they lose elections, they need to be paid.
Yeah, after that. And you know what surprises me is that, you know, you hear parliamentarians saying, "I'm paying for this out of my pocket. I'm paying for this out of my pocket." Where are you getting the money from?
Tell me about it.
You know,
no. I think the level of, but I think that it will change. It is going to change, because when people are upset to a level, to a certain degree, they will not take it anymore.
It's not sustainable. The system right now is not sustainable.
Exactly. And also the people are not seeing alternatives.
Yes. So we need to provide them alternatives. And that's where we come in.
When there is alternative platform, people start to debate, oh, what is that man saying? That man stuff like, he's living in my place. He's thinking about
He's thinking
me.
about me. It's not just about his
Yeah,
pocket.
yeah.
And then once they give you
It
the
will happen.
opportunity, you
It
have
will
to
happen.
deliver.
It will
You know,
happen.
once you get the opportunity, you have to deliver.
No,
That's
it will happen.
part.
It will happen. It will happen. You know, one thing that I have learned about 31st, June 4th, is
Yeah.
that it's like you're doing some cooking and you tasted the soup and you say, oh, I need a bit of salt for this.
Yeah.
So I always look at June 4th, 31st as, oh, pinching a sort of salt into the food.
Mm-hmm.
Because the bigger picture about how broadly the food could be cooked and to serve the population is going to come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going to come. We can't deny it.
No,
You know,
no.
let the Akufo-Addos and all of them, whatever they are doing, the Supreme Court, you know,
Yeah.
it's funny, isn't it?
Well, you know, too, they all cut out of the same cloth.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
It's funny.
you know, if I look at it, you know, from what I've been reading and seeing,
Yeah,
maybe 1 in 10 people makes
yeah,
any sense, or you know,
yeah,
say something that's really,
yeah,
you know, shows they're thinking about regular Ghanaians. The
yeah,
rest of them are all about power.
yeah.
Somebody was telling me once they got a phone call from a parliamentarian, and this is how he introduced himself. Hi, this is Honorable. And I'm like,
No, I wouldn't describe anybody as honorable. They are very dishonorable.
You know, but even then,
wouldn't.
you know, if it's your title as parliament, you don't use it. You know, you let people, but you call yourself, "Hi, this is Honorable." So me say, you know,
No, I wouldn't.
oh,
I wouldn't.
yeah.
You know, I was in my village sometime about 4 or 5 years ago or so, and it was during an Easter festivities, and the chief of the village, they admire me because I have really helped the schools. I've supplied them 15 laptops and PCs and all that, and we've opened a library. I've supplied books and things. So they say, "Oh, Kwame, we want you to chair our Easter event because the MP is coming, the local MP is coming." And I took the opportunity to address him so much because he came with 3 or 4 people following him holding files, and they came in 4 huge trucks.
The V8,
Yeah,
the V8, right?
and to make matters, I was so angry and annoyed. The engines were left on because they don't want the air conditioning to go.
So the whole time they're wasting.
Exactly. And you know, first he came late, and I told him that, look, if you work as a working class man in an industry where you have to clock to tell the employer the time that you are at
You don't
work,
go late.
you are late. I told him 2 hours you are late completely. And you know, people were horrified, saying, wow, what is Kwame doing? And after everything, he himself came to admire my solo. Look, where I'm coming from, at least the level of commitment democracy by elected people are different from what people are doing. First, you came late, you came in 3 vehicles, you left your engine on, the environment is really becoming hot. And what the promises you've come, and I'm told you make such promises many years every now and then.
You haven't got none of them. None of them.
Exactly. You know.
Oh, can you hold on just a second? This is
Okay.
Kofi. Hello, Kofi. Yes. English, yeah, I'm on with Nine, brother Kwame Oklu. We're talking.
Good afternoon, Phyllis. How are you?
Yeah.
Hello. Good morning over here.
Aha. Okay.
How are you?
Oh, well, I think that we've seen the day, so we should be proud. We should be grateful to the Lord.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, so I didn't attack him. I educated him. I told him point blank. No, I educated him. I told him point blank that for me, where I am, I can access my local MP as and when I want.
Yeah.
But you come here only during elections or funerals. And when you come your way, these poor people will catch their goats, their fowls, and hand over to you.
And you tell me around and you haven't done anything for them.
No, you haven't. You haven't done 40 years or so of this thing. You haven't even planted a tree for the villagers, you know. So I took my peace of mind. And I'm told when he went away, he was asking, he wants to know my background.
Who's this guy?
And you know, my uncle, my father's junior brother, who is the head of the family, Eugene, how are you? Told him point blank, you know, that man who was speaking was the former Secretary General of the Ghana TUC. So, you know, our MPs, they live in a different world.
That's just to see that nobody's holding them accountable. Nobody's holding them accountable. That's the issue.
At all.
You know.
So there is hope that with a consistent attempt to try and drag them out of where we are, the population,
Yeah.
they will follow. They will
I
follow.
hope so. I hope so. You know, we have to start. You know, and if we don't finish, we have to start.
Just to interrupt a little bit, Eugene, I never got to actually talk to you, but Brother Kwesi says he will be starting, right?
Yes, please.
So yeah, okay.
Brother just got up. I wanted to see if I can have access to share just a PowerPoint. If you can.
You should have the rights to share.
Okay, I will try. Let me try first to see how that works. Okay, looks like yes.
Who's this?
Yeah. So it gives you the rights, right?
Can you see?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, wonderful. Then I would on share.
Oh, so I should have shared mine too, right?
You can.
Oh no, it's not. It's not on.
So I think you have to stop sharing.
No, I'm using a cell phone. I'm using a cell phone. So.
Oh.
So take it off.
Yes, I'm going to take it off.
All right.
I'm using a cell phone, so I don't know if I can do all that.
Or you can do it as long as there is space. You know, Dr. Asola should take off his. Then you can have that.
Yeah, try it.
The first person to do the presentation.
Well, I don't know. I don't have that process. I don't know. Let me see.
If it's easier for you and allows more comfort, then, you know, since you didn't plan for it, but try it out and see if it works, then you're good to
Okay,
go.
run me through the process of sharing. Dan.
You should see a green. I don't know if you have it on the phone app. So I was looking on the app.
Oh, share contact. Okay.
Yeah, if you not
But I have to go to my email first, right?
Wherever
No,
it
you
is.
shouldn't.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I think you know, if you have it on if you have the file, when you go to share content, it should pop up where you can select the file you want to share.
No, I haven't done all of that. Everything is in email.
Oh, it's in an email. Okay. Well, you know, another option is if you want, send it to Brother Eugene and he can share.
Yes.
Yours, and then when just email it to him and he can share it, and then he can share.
Okay. Yeah. Let me try that right now.
Excellent idea. Thank you.
Go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Well, it says iPhone.
Yeah.
Brother Kofi is here. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Hi, everybody. No, good morning. Good morning. It's 6 o'clock in California.
Okay.
Oh man, it's going to be you know, I'm going through all this email. But I think
we're looking at iPhone. Is that your screen? No, that's on the screen. That's just you talking. Okay, that's fine.
Is that?
Yes, this is Nealogy.
Okay.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Good everything. I'm fine. It's a long time.
We are alive. We have to be grateful.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Very so grateful.
Yeah.
Looking forward to appearing in person and shaking hands.
One day it will happen.
Yes.
Oh, it's no. I can't find it.
Well.
Oh.
Yen
okay,
is here.
mine wouldn't be a long.
Yen is here.
Yeah. So is Yen here?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay, so we can get started then.
You can just see his face down there with
Yeah.
We have 4 more minutes.
a penis is here like a carpenter.
Brother Kofi, we have 4 more minutes.
Okay. If you want to wait, that's fine.
Yes, we
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
wait.
well, we will wait until
Yeah,
it's
few
actually
people are
time,
going to
because
come.
other people will be joining.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, yeah, but you see, the thing is that some of the former athletes who have agreed to come have also expressed the need to get off early because they have prior engagements.
Okay.
We should keep that in mind also.
Yes. So,
Yeah, they will come, but they may not want to stay.
would we want to have them speak in anyway?
Well, that's up to you. You are in control. So-
Right.
But no, I think she's just trying to seek some way forward. I think we should allow some of them and encourage them to say a few words.
Right,
indeed.
right.
Important we
So
try
I think
allocate some time.
we
Yeah,
had planned
please.
to start with the presentation,
Yes.
but I
Yeah.
think I will start with acknowledging any of them who
That comes
are
on.
here.
Yeah,
I will ask if they are here and have them share a bit of their experience, and then
Yeah.
we'll go into the presentation.
yeah, that's right. I just spoke to a couple of them actually just a few minutes ago. So.
But it's also important that those who are new should be introduced. They should introduce themselves to us.
Yes, I'll ask
Yeah,
them
they
to
will,
introduce
yeah.
themselves. It would be helpful to know how many of them are actually here. But
Yeah.
Well, there's only one that I can vouch for.
I know.
I think you know who
Yes,
that
I
is.
spoke with
Yeah,
him
but
and
the
his
others,
wife. The others I don't know. So
the
I'll
others
just
are
ask.
more or less tentative. Yeah,
Yeah.
they have agreed to show up. So.
But Yen used to do 100 meters for Bolga Secondary School. So she'll be
I
able
never
to-
went to Bulgar Secondary School.
Well, that I'm so sorry.
So first of all, you are wrong. I went to Tamale Business Secondary.
Okay. What
And I
about what about Tambugi, Dr. Tambugi?
So I tried to do my school. I was something like a school, a house prefect, and my house was coming last. So I decided that I'll participate in a long distance that had plenty marks. And I went and took Hanankwana, and led the pack for two rounds. After the third round, I collapsed.
Well, you didn't practice enough then.
That's right. You are not conditioned.
You know what is called Hanankwana?
No.
Hanankwana is something during our time when you were in school, you took it to stay awake so that you can read.
Yeah.
Some yellow thing, some
Oh.
yellow tablet.
Yeah.
I used to just chew Goro.
That's a performance enhancement drug.
It is. Yeah. Goro was it for me.
So Kwame Okulu, you are wrong. So
Yeah.
So who is confessing to smoking the real hemp? One of you should confess. Some of you will turn it into tea. You can say you drank tea, then we will understand.
if you are a young person and you haven't done this thing, you have no right to correct your son or the younger one.
I haven't done it because I used to have some grandparents who were so tough that even at a certain age where I can have a girlfriend, I was not allowed. You couldn't.
But you
So
could hide. couldn't you?
doing things like that, even smoking
Okay.
or
Let's see.
drinking a small appetition, you can't do it. They will get you.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we should get started.
Yeah,
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 okay.
yeah.
2
I think
o'clock,
so too.
Yeah, okay. Good afternoon.
Good
or
afternoon.
Good morning.
Good anything, wherever you are. In Ghana, it's good
Yeah.
afternoon. But
Okay.
you those in somewhere, maybe it's good evening or good night or good whatever. So accept anything that is good.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, before we start, I just want to say a little bit about, for the purpose of those who don't know about the Progressive Alliance for Ghana. The Progressive Alliance for Ghana is an initiative
That principally was started by CNN, the Nkrumahs in the US. And they brought us all together, progressive organizations, and we agreed to work together towards an alternative, in actual fact, towards a political party. And why did we come to that? You know, there are many political parties in Ghana, but none of them really looks at the issue of the main issue that confronts our country, the control of our country by foreign companies, foreign interests, and others. And that was one of the main reasons, I mean, the main difference between us and other organizations. We have a provisional license to operate as a political party, and we are working towards the full party. It is important to, being in Ghana, to mention that Ghana is going through a lot of tremendous years. The society, people are quiet, but we don't know what is happening under the background. You know, even though people are quiet, people are so dissatisfied. You know, the parties too, there will be competition in the MPP, I mean, for who to be their presidential candidate. It will fracture. I had thought that the NDC, with their showing, no matter what you say, they would have seen power lie on the ground and be together. But the last endorsement of all the present nominations shows what can happen, what is happening, that even they see the power and then they can't take it, you know, for now. So there is bound to be a fracture in both parties. And we stand at advantage. And then we also have the advantage of the CPP and the other progressive parties. If they join hands with us, we will be able to come together and form a formidable party. Imagine us here, all of us. Suppose that today in Ghana, if we find ourselves in Ghana and have a press conference, and all of us sitting here appear 1 minute each, 2 minutes, you can imagine what will happen despite everything. You can imagine that people say, oh, these are genuine people. Some of us have been in the struggle for over 30, 40 years, you know. So that is the main, so we want, you know, not just come for these meetings, not just have these discussions, but we want to build a party, and we are working towards, we're interviewing people for district organizers. We're talking to people and all others. So we want you, don't just come to these meetings, but also join. Try and form a branch of the PAG somewhere, wherever you live. You could be 2, 3, it doesn't matter, you know, because anything can happen in Ghana. There can be an uprising in tomorrow, next tomorrow, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, and it may not happen, you know, but we should always, the CRA James says, the revolution is like a thief. It comes in the night. Yeah. So you have to be out there watching for it. Sports, yeah, sports is a very important issue, and we should try and then be together. You know, we've come to discuss this. Like I said, the best I did was mile, and then I took Hanekwana and collapsed on the way. So that's my experience about sports. Okay. Anyway, so we have very distinguished people here that will talk to us about sports and others, how we can use it as a source of development. I don't want to take much time, but just this is by way of introduction. And I'd like to introduce you all to Phyllis, who is our resident organizer who organizes all these things, and she's been doing it for quite some time now. So over to you, Phyllis, and thank you all for coming. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the introduction. Yes, for those who don't know me, my name is Phyllis Dadson-Bourne. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody, wherever you are. I am coming to you from Canada, Ottawa, Canada. So today, our topic is...
1 minute, Phyllis, can you allow any new person on the team here to introduce himself or herself?
Listen, no, we decided that is unnecessary. It's also very time consuming. This is a public forum. Okay. We don't have anything to hide.
All right, that's
we really don't need that. People can come in and go out at will.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. So today, our topic for the town hall is the role of sports in national development. And as our chair just said, we have a number of distinguished sportsmen and possibly women. I don't know if we got everybody here.
We may.
But I do specifically want to thank Mr. Stan Alote and his wife for honoring our request to join. So what I want us to start with is to have our former sportsmen and award winners. We have some gold award winners here, and they know what it's like in Ghana to actually have a thriving sports industry. So we want them to share with us some of their experiences, and then we will go into our presentation. I know I see Mr. Alote is here. I don't know if we have any other of the previous sportsmen here, but I will give Mr. Alote the chance to speak first. And anybody else who is here, I would ask them to just raise their hands and we will have them give a little bit of their experience before we get into the presentations. First, before we start, let me just ask you all a bit of housekeeping to mute your, to put yourselves on mute, because we don't want anybody's background to be interfering in the presentations. And if you have questions, as I said, once we are done, we will be opening it up for discussion and anybody else who needs to contribute. We have some of our own PAG members who are going to be giving presentations. So anybody who will be contributing and will have questions and answers. So without further ado, I will start with Mr. Alote. I know that you are here. So if you could please go ahead and share with us some of the exciting times that you had and what you see is the role of sports in national development.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello to you all. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that you guys made the request to invite me on this show. And I'm going to do my best to tell you what I had experienced so far. I ran for Ghana in the 60s. And I came over here in 1968. But before that, I won the Commonwealth Games 220 years. I won the gold medal, and then I anchored the 4x110 relay. We won another gold medal in Jamaica. So I know the organization in Ghana before I left, and I know how it is now. There's the vast difference. Look at where Jamaica is now. We beat them on their own soil, but they kept their program. If we had continued with what we had, we would be somewhere by now. But these young guys don't allow us to come in to make any contributions. And that really annoys me. So I'm glad that you are putting this organization together so we can look into it and see if you can go home and change the structure of what is going on right now. We are behind, far behind. We have to do something about it. And we're talking about how sports helps to promote national image. I remember when I went to Jamaica and I won the gold medal, everybody was like, hey, where did it come from? They had never heard my name before. They had never seen me before. And some of those people, where is he from? We don't know. He's from Ghana. Well, where is Ghana? They didn't even know. So it helps to promote the image of the nation. And Oyinijan understood that part of our government. So I'm glad to be here, and I'm going to do whatever I can to help to promote the image of Ghana. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. We will definitely, I'm sure, be coming back to you with questions at the end of the presentation. Hopefully you'll be able to stay until the end, but even if not, we will definitely be engaging with you down the road. So are there any other of the veteran sports champions here that might want to say something? If not, we will go ahead with the program as planned. We have two of our very own PAG members who are going to be presenting this morning and taking us through the topic of the day. We are going to start with Mr. Justice Kwesi Budu. So I will read his profile so that you get to know him before he starts. Mr. Justice Kwesi Budu is a founding member of PAG and a lifelong Nkrumahist. He holds an MBA in Business Administration and Organizational Management from University of Phoenix. Mr. Kwesi Budu has worked in corporate America in several positions. He's currently retired and volunteers as a retired business executive with the US Small Business Administration. He has a passion for all manner of sports and was an eyewitness of Ghana sports at its heights under Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Mr. Kwesi Budu is here to share with us a little analysis of how we can revive and introduce sports to improve education under a PAG administration. So please go ahead.
Good morning, and from California. Okay, I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, so waking up early this morning is a little challenge for me, but I did. I'm here. Okay, when we talk about using sports to promote education, we're talking about children, starting from that level, because we don't wait until we get to our teenagers, to be teenagers before we get introduced to sports. Sports has been part of our curricula since anybody who went to elementary school in Ghana will know, anywhere actually. Physical education, back in our days, we call it PT. Okay, but we're going to have to think about children, why we want children to be involved in sports at that early age. That helps children. It helps physical education. Physical education is actually sports. Okay, we have to go to the field and you have to jump around and you have to do all of these things to get in shape, even as a child. So what are some of the benefits of physical education in school? We are not just going to align children up on the field and let them participate in sports when they are not physically fit. So some of the benefits of being physically fit and physical education is actually the working itself, because children always come around. They always are a bundle of energy. You have to find something for them to do. Some of these benefits are exercising in the morning, running, playing, any kind of game in the morning, even before classes start. Physical education also boosts a person's or a child's self-esteem. If you are physically fit and you participate in sports, children feel good about themselves. They can run better, or they can run and compete with other children in the school or against other children in the community or anything they do. So that is another benefit why physical education is good for children, but it has to be organized physical education. So we're looking at it, you stay fit through physical education. Children, you boost your child self-esteem by that. It reduces stress also. If a child doesn't have anything to do, usually they wander around and they do other things, probably even getting in trouble. So getting them something to do at that age in school or even out of school curricula and all of that, it boosts their self-esteem and reduces the stress of having children just sitting around all day, not doing anything, and then just being truant in school. They don't participate in anything. They are usually not, active in classes or in school or things like that. So physical education also improves a child's sleeping methods or sleeping methods. Okay, if you are tired, if you work out and your homework is done or things like that, you go to bed at night and you feel good about yourself. A child wakes up in the morning, you got to go to school at 8 o'clock in the morning. In our culture, children even have to wake up back in the day when we were children at 5 o'clock and go to the local brook to fetch water for the house. All these are physical activities that the child participates in. So if you are in sports and you are disciplined, children, it wouldn't be a problem for children to wake up in the morning and participate in all these household activities before they even go to school. Physical education also develops team and leadership skills. If a child is a member of a school sports team, they are called, they practice, they play against other teams, or even they run against other teams and do all kinds of sports. So your leadership skills as a leader in the school improves. We all had the prefects, class prefects and sports captains. So if your child is active in sports, it will also improve their leadership skills, which is why physical education is good for all kids to participate in. And then it instills patience, discipline, and perseverance. If you want to be on the school team, you have to practice in any of the sports. You don't just get up and go and join the school team. You have to attend practice. You have to listen to your coaches and how the game is played. Children in Ghana currently actually train themselves to do these things. We remember when we were children and we wanted to play games, the owner of the ball will pick the players first. Okay, I pick this one and this one picks this one, and then you have 7 players standing on any kind of field. Anything in Ghana that is open space is a soccer field for us. All of these things improve a child's physical fitness to participate in future sports, but we want to organize it. We want it to be organized starting from the schools, physical education. One thing we have to think about is that when we also participate in sports, we have an infrastructure in Ghana. Every school has a playing field, but the playing fields are in poor condition. We cannot just line up children on some parks that is eroded, with rocks and things like that. So we have to also consider preparing playing fields. If we cannot do it in every school, at least by secondary school, our playing fields should be 2-star or 3-star level, where children will have the safety of going to a playing field because there are injuries in sports also. So we have to think about all of these things, starting children even before they become teenagers to participate in team sports and things like that. So we're going to have to also improve the facilities from elementary school. If we can't do all of that, every district should have at least a 3-star sporting complex where we can in future even hold open sports in the summer for athletes. Anybody who wants to run or who can run can present themselves, and then we'll line them up and we'll do it. So we're not talking just about using sports, to produce athletes and players who can just play sports, but they are not academically sound. Okay, if you play sports, you have to also improve academically before you can even go to college. We're going to have to think about all of that too. So basically, I'm setting the stage about how we're going to have to use sports and include all of them. And I'm not talking about just boys sports only. You have to also include girls sports. Girls can play soccer, girls can play basketball, girls can run, girls can do anything. So just about all children in Ghana are going to benefit. And then as they go along, we will know who is good to be representing the country, even from the childhood. If you sit here in America and you look at Olympic Games, you see 16-year-old girls who are competing at that level. In the Olympic Games, 16-year-old girls, they're doing gymnastics. All of these things start at that level. So if we want to represent ourselves in soccer or in athletics, and follow the examples of Aloti, Mr. Aloti, who is here, he won gold medal. Nobody know about him, even in Ghana, because Ghana, we don't even have any idea who represented the nation in the past. In the soccer, in athletics, in boxing, we don't do anything other than these 3 sports, but we're going to include other sports like swimming. You cannot teach children to swim if you don't have swimming facilities. So we don't know who is going to be the next gold medalist in swimming. We have to give all of these children the opportunities to participate in sports. So by so doing, they're going to improve academically. Not just one benefit of sports. I just learned about it. They call it hippocampus. Hippocampus is a certain part of the brain that helps with children's memory and education. Okay, and that is acquired through physical education. If you give children physical education and they become good in physical education by doing all this, it improves their memory and their educational abilities. So basically, that would be a short presentation about how we want to do this. And at this point, I would like to hand over to the next speaker, Mr. Eugene Asola. And thank you very much. If any one of you have questions after this, we will be here to answer how we're going to have to do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So I will now introduce Dr. Asola, and he will have about 20 minutes to do his presentation. Dr. Eugene Asola is currently an associate professor and associate department head with the Teacher Education Department at Valdosta State University, USA. His educational achievements include Bachelor's in Health and Physical Education from the University of Education, Winneba, a Master's in Public Administration from Suffolk University in Boston, and a doctoral degree in sports pedagogy from the University of Alabama, Tuscaloosa. In the past, he worked at Ghana National College in Cape Coast, Ghana, from 1998 to 2003, and rose to the senior housemaster position before transitioning to the USA. He continued to work as a teacher at the University of Wisconsin, La Crosse, 2009 to 2011, and later at Georgia Gwinnett College. Dr. Asoola's area of research interests include kindergarten to grade 12, physical education teaching, teaching supervision, and PE policy. He has several publications, local and international presentations to his credit. He is also a review board member for the Multicultural Learning and Teaching Journal and the Journal of National Association for Kinesiology and Higher Education. For service, he is a site visitor for Georgia Professional Standards Commission, as well as the Council for the Accreditation of Educators Preparation. During his time in Ghana National, as a former athlete, PE teacher, and a coach, he recruited good athletes, players such as Anthony Annan at 17, who played Black Stars midfield in 2010's Best World Cup team to the college. National won major zonal and regional tournaments under him. Can you mute, make sure you mute it, please? He also produced the best pole vaulters of all time for Ghana National and Central Region during his time at Cape Coast. Please go ahead, Dr. Asoola.
Thank you so much. Can everyone hear me clearly?
Yes, please.
Thank you. And I want to acknowledge the presence of great Mr. Alote for your past performance and representing Ghana. I was also a sprinter, and my time was 11 seconds for 100 meters and 22 seconds for 200 meters. So I applaud you. So sports is organized and physical education is structured. And so today's topic, we are talking about the role of sports in national development. If sports is organized, what do we do in Ghana right now? As you heard Mr. Alote mention that Mr. Ohenijan understood what it meant to organize. What my colleague, Brother Bodu, spoke about was physical education, which is structured. It is geared towards developmental. The kids or children have to acquire the basic skills to be able to participate in organized sports. That's the basis. And for that matter, I would dwell on the role of sports in national development. So I would triangulate a few pictures for us to recall some memories. And then I'll talk about what PAC should do. And then talk about youth and character development, how sports is linked to economic and financial activities in the country, and then corporate sponsorship. And my colleague, Dr. Bodu, Mr. Brother Bodu talked about diversification. I would expand on that a little bit, how PAC comes in, and then how we can link sports to universities and help the country grow. I want to make a disclaimer that this is not an exclusive conversation, but we are having this today as a beginning of a national conversation about the development of the country through sports. So as we can all see, sports gathers people from all over the regions, districts, cultures, and because of the passion we have, especially when it comes to soccer, and we see this. When Ghana hosted African Cup of Nations some years back, I mean, the whole country was booming. There was a lot of pride to be a Ghanaian. It empowers connections all over the country. Even though you might be from Bolgatanga, you know somebody at Cape Coast because you may have met in some sports competition. And then you can establish some relationships. It also promotes social development and helps in alleviating, to some extent, poverty if we do the right thing in terms of organization. And then lastly, it improves the quality of life. Quality of life, we do no longer farm. We do no longer walk many distances. This is the only way we need to stay active, physically active. And sports is where we need to begin to maintain our health and wellness. So these are the memories that I wanted to share. We have tennis, we have field hockey, we have our quartet, 4 by 100 meter runners, and we have university sports over here, and then our ladies. We do not have to exclusively talk about soccer always and leave the other sports. I will come to that later on. So, Maya Angelou said that if you don't like something, you have to change it. And if you can't change it, change your attitude. But also, Albert Einstein also said that weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. And I believe many of us as Ghanaians see this happening in our society today. Attitude is psychological construct, a mental and emotional entity inherent in us as humans. So, if we are able to address the cognitive, behavior, and emotional aspect, it will keep us healthy, it will keep us united, it will keep us as a nation, and we can foster ahead in terms of sports organization. I would like to delve a little bit into the positive impact that sports has in us, or can have on us as human beings, especially for the youth of Ghana who are roaming right now and there's no job for them to do. The sociological aspect in terms of how we view sports addresses 3 main domains. 1, the cognitive aspects, which is developing the brain to understand how games are played, why you have to take off, and when you are running, you imply or you have to use the principles of the Newton's third Newton's third law of motion. These are things that we have to teach in school. We have to teach in physical education. They have to understand and abide by the rules. Then secondly, we have the psychomotor aspect, which is you have to do to understand how games are played. And this is through practice. And we have to train coaches, very good coaches, to be able to do this. We don't have many of them. We have local coaches. We have the ability and money to send them out, train them and bring them back in, or invite experts to come into the country and do this so we can promote sports. I don't think we're doing this. This is where PAG can work on. Progressive Alliance for Ghana can work on. And lastly, we have the effective aspect. That has to do with feelings, the sensation, the ecstasy that you get from engaging in sports and organization. So this takes away the misbehavior, the mischievous behavior of our youth, and find something, channel that energy into something useful that they enjoy. Can we do that? Yes. And that has to do with organization. Sports also provides many unique opportunities, valuable lessons, as Brother Budu mentioned earlier on, self-esteem, but also our parents and guardians and coaches, they work together. And this actually fosters unity, it fosters good relationship in the country, across cultures, across regions, and across districts. Children grow when they get involved in sports. They communicate well, they maintain integrity because the rules governing them in sports allows them to develop and grow because they have to play by the rules. And it doesn't only pertain to the sports that they play in, it transcends sports into other areas of their societal engagement, like being honest when something happens, being truthful. And we know right now truth is scarce in our societies. And control their emotions. You may not like the call of a referee, but that doesn't mean that you should go and hit the referee on the face. So you have to abide by the rules. And we know that in other societies, the children do not have that patience any longer. They walk off their parents when they're talking to them about something that they've done wrong. Sports can nurture that. Sports can help us maintain discipline in our kids. We participating in a team sport will also improve work habits because you know what you're required to do as a teammate. For instance, you're running in a quartet. Would you let the whole team down if you drop your baton? If you're a soccer player and you're playing midfield, you know what you're supposed to do. The goalkeeper will not let a goal in. So everything plays together. It's like a machine working together. And so sports, in terms of youth and character development, it would play a huge role in our Ghanaian youth today. Sports also shows how children are disciplined when they are playing by the rules. And it's a valuable asset because they grow up. When they are taught young, they grow up with all these characteristics. And so we would save ourselves when they become adults. We would save a lot of trouble, some people from going to prison and going against the law. And lastly, we know that sports is universal when it comes to society. We understand the language of sports when we say soccer. For instance, today we have over 26 million coaches in Ghana. When Ghana is playing any country or any matches, you have people coming out with different ideas. They should have done, they should have. When we understand what sports is, how to play the game, the systems, we will do better. Now, I will speak a little bit about the economic and financial trove that we can unlock as PAG members. Imagine all the stadia that are built in Ghana right now. We can build more stadia. Let's say every region has a stadium. Imagine the number of people that have to be employed, youth. The grass has to be kept. The buildings have to be maintained. People have to be organized around the stadia. I mean, imagine parking and all the things that go to running a stadium, maintaining a stadium. That's a lot of job opportunities. The administration, local and district, extending to regional and even national. And not only that, those vendors who have to provide food for those spectators or audience or those who come to play, they will make some income. There's going to be economic boom in all the regions or the stadium around the stadium when this is happening. This would mitigate to some extent, not exclusively, part of the youth unemployment that is going on now. We will talk about the corporate sponsorship. We know Milo Guinness and some other companies in Ghana sponsor sports and table tennis and some other well-known sports in Ghana. But we can go beyond that as PAC emphasized. For instance, the companies that have huge investments in Ghana, like we know the IT and phone companies, they make a lot of money. Just imagine the credits that somebody has to buy to be on this forum. So we can have some taxes out from there to develop sports as sponsorship, maybe specific tax breaks to promote certain sports that are not, like boxing, for instance, is dying off. Track and field, all regions. We should be able to coordinate all of this in all regions and sustain it. Diversification in terms of different types of sports, we can do this. We can do what is possible. Because, as Muhammad Ali once said, Impossible is there. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. We can do what is possible as PAC. There are more outliers in this country called Ghana. We just have to unearth them. Brother Budu already mentioned that there are some people hidden somewhere in the villages that we can unearth, and they would be either good swimmers, best athletes, good soccer players, basketball players. We need to do more as PAC to organize, not only in Accra and Kumasi or Tamale, but all over the regions and even in the districts. We can do that. It is about opportunities and equitable services. And I think PAC can take this up. The more we have games and sports in schools, and for instance, recreational grounds, the more we'll have people employed, the youth employed. Local community involvement and in administration and running of sports activities is something that PAC can easily do. And we can get the support of the members if they know that we have a good program. Again, Mr. Alute mentioned Ohenijan understood what organization of sports meant, and we can do that. We can follow that. We can improve on what he did those years, because things have changed and we know what we can do right now to improve and maintain our youth involvement. So we have diversification. We have Mr. Ben Bentel as the first Ghanaian NBA player here in Mavericks in 2017. This is just an outlier. Many of them, look at this young gentleman. I mean, he could become the Icotes or the DK Poisons of yesteryears. This is what we are talking about when we mention diversification. There is wrestling that we can do. We are strong as Ghanaians, but we only think foot soccer is what we can do. But let's go beyond that. So in terms of infrastructure, we can link all of this to the universities. Every university will have a stadium. Think about the jobs that we will create. Think about the engagement, sports organization that we'll have. All the major universities in Ghana, think of them having a stadium or one stadium per university. How big a development it would be. So in short, I think that as PAC, we have a chance, we have opportunities at this time to do better for Ghana and for the youth, using sports as a national development tool. But I thought that we should replace national development with national building, because I believe we have to build first before we develop. We are currently at the building stage, in my opinion, and once we realize this, we can do the impossible. Let's get started. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Sola and Mr. Kwesi Budu. We are going to continue. First, let me ask if there is anybody else who is a former sports person who wants to contribute their experience and share with us. Okay. All right, we are going to continue. We will be opening it up for...
Sorry, can I come in quickly? Not a sports person.
Okay.
But I have worked within the government department in the UK to do with extended schools, which covers the current topic. It all started with, the program itself was extended school, but it was under Sure Start Development Program, which includes a breakfast club, as well as extended school in general to do with sporting activities. And the whole idea was to encourage parents instead of staying home to go to work, giving the kids the opportunity to come to school early. But like, I'm not sure who the initial, the first speaker was, because I was a bit late to join the program. When they talked about the program being structured, and that side of things is very important, because that is what the kids want. They don't want to just come in and run around, because a lot of the kids that used to come to those programs were mainly parents who will leave their kids in the morning and go to work. But the kids were always excited to join the coming in the morning, and some of them even end up staying after school for other programs. Some of the schools, because they didn't have the facilities, they were working with other neighboring schools. So after school, those kids will end up in a different school to participate in whatever activity is being organized by that particular school. The program itself was funded by the government. I'm not sure where PAC comes into this in terms of, is it a private program that they're looking to push for, or is it a government program which will take the whole, sporting facilities and work on?
Okay,
But
is that a question, or is
yeah, that was a question. The reason why I'm saying that is, if it's a government program, then it has to be well organized to make sure that you achieve everything that's been listed, every benefit that's been listed, because it is very important. And as Dr. Edwin Asola said earlier, we need national building, not development. And if you have to start building something, you need to start from scratch. So yes, he spoke about the universities, but I would like something being started from the grassroots, which will be the private, the primary school level. Because if you need something to really stand firm and for a long term, and you start going straight into universities and secondary schools, they've already psychologically, they've already built some sort of mindset in terms of what they want to participate in sports for. We all know kids enjoy sports. Yes, they're into enjoy it, but if it's well structured, a lot of the benefit that comes with it is huge. Mm-hmm. So the effect that you're looking for, and for a long-term involvement and for a long-term benefit, I think the national building, which is the primary school level, is where the program should start. So any investment I would like to see from a primary school level, working upwards, so you can push the kids along as they come into the program. Mm-hmm. And that's all I want to say on that.
All right, thank you so much. Can I get a PAG, perhaps our chair, to respond in terms of where PAG sees this kind of children's breakfast club or organized sports?
Sure. I'd like to thank everybody for their contributions so far. It's a very exciting topic. I think Professor Asola was not sharing his screen. I think he had stuff for us. So I realized that later on, because he kept looking, as if he was sending stuff to us. So he might have some images that he may want to share. So after I answer, I make this comment. What I would like to say is that I remember growing up, and sports was organized by what? COS. It was called Central Organization of Sports. Like, the Venerable Salute said, it's all about organization. And you have to organize sports from the bottom up, like all speakers have said, Kwesi Budu and Dr. Sola have said.
And it is a national enterprise. Sports is a national enterprise because it is an investment in the health and development of young people. Physical development is part of their total development. And it has many manifestations, as I've been already pointed out: physical, psychological, nutritional, and bringing order and discipline into their lives. So we can see right now that without central organization of sports in our lives, there's very little discipline among young people in the country. And what PAG intends to do is that we intend to engage the youth across the country through heritage clubs, and sports is going to be part of the curriculum of the heritage clubs that we're going to develop across the country. I will just sort of briefly mention that for those who are not PAG members, because they are not aware, but this is going to be a very big part of life skills development that heritage clubs will be promoting across the country once we get rolling. Thank you very much. So, Professor Sola, you may have some nice videos that you wanted to share with us.
Yes.
And I think we should go back and have you do that. Thank you.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, now we can.
I'm not sure. I thought the initial. I'm so sorry. But to answer Mr. Lawson's question at the end, what I was trying to explain there was we linked sports to unemployment, to address the youth unemployment situation. When I brought, let me see. I'm so sorry you didn't see all these nice pictures. This was the sports memories I was talking about, and I didn't know that my screen wasn't being viewed.
Yeah.
And then I talked about Kofi Kingston, one of the outliers in wrestling. I talked about attitudes, sorry. And character, youth character. Then I came to this. This is where I mentioned DK Poison, and then Ben Bentel of first Ghanaian NBA star, and then all of these stars over here. And I was pointing to this gentleman over here. And we have Taekwondo, we have all types of sports. And I came to the stadium. So, Mr. Lawson, we know that physical education is structured, and I emphasize that because my colleague, Brother Budu, had covered that extensively, or somehow, that I could then build on, because the topic is sports and national development. But we cannot have the university if the foundation, being the elementary schools, are not well organized. So the universities actually will train the coaches and the teachers to be able to sustain the elementary education. That's the whole thing, the whole idea. And I was emphasizing that PAC can do this. Other organizations can do this. Thank you. I have to stop sharing now.
Okay.
And in terms of sports, everybody know our system is basically a socialist system, even though we pretend we're a capitalist system. If the government doesn't take the lead in the development of anything, it doesn't happen, because we don't have individuals anywhere who will start, they may have a soccer team, juvenile soccer team or things like that, but it's not national. So the government is going to be in charge of this, like everybody said, from Mr. Alute down here. If the government is in charge of the organization of the sports, then we can reach all the four corners of the country and tap talent, because we never know where the talent is going to come from. We are in Chromes. We don't believe in tribalism and all of that. Anybody who can perform, if you can do 100 meters and you are the next Mike Ahe or the next Stan Alute, step forward.
Yeah.
So it's what you got.
Speaking of 100 meters, I think we're now joined by Hannah Afriye, moderator.
Hannah Afriye.
Yeah, I'm sure you all remember her.
Yes.
100 meters.
Does she want to say a few words?
Where's the moderator?
I saw she left.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe she lost her connection.
maybe she lost her connection.
Secretary, continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll have Hannah introduce herself and perhaps say a few words regarding the topic. Hannah.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me on the line. Well, Ghana sports should be revived as I see it. But to begin with, I believe we have to go to the schools. I started this some time ago when I was in Ghana, but I wasn't helped. And I couldn't do it all by myself because of transportation and, some problems that I faced. But if we can go to the schools, there are some potentials in the schools. They don't even know that they can do something, or they can run, they can box, they can do other kinds of sports until we go to tap it out of them. So I believe if we want to start something, we should start from the grassroots. And I don't know if I have said helpful thoughts, or I have shared some helpful thoughts, but this is what I think we should do. And secondly, right now we are not taking good care of the athletes because other countries are really investing in their athletes. But I'm talking about track and field. Apart from soccer, all the other sports are not really being looked into, and the sportsmen and women are not really taken good care of. During our time, we did it for the love of it. We did it because we know that we are helping our country. But right now, it has turned to business. So if we are not investing, you have to invest to get something out of your investment. But if we are not investing, then we are beating about or around the bush. Because of what others are getting from their government, it becomes so difficult for our up and coming sportsmen and women to dedicate themselves to the kind of sports they are doing. I remember someone asked my daughter, why aren't you doing sports? He said, when my mom did sports, she didn't get anything out of it. So the up and coming sportsmen and women are looking to what the government did or individuals did for the participants. And it is not encouraging. It is not encouraging at all. I remember one other thing in Montreal, when I got to the finals and I got to the finals, and one Kenyan said, oh, you have gone through all the heats. You are going to get a lot of money. And I told her I didn't get anything. And she was so surprised because any qualifying series, they had money awarded to them or given to them. But in our case, there was nothing like that. So I believe we have to look into these things. Sometimes even money to take transport to the stadium or to the point of training, it's so difficult for them because they are not helped. and in our case, we could walk from the house to the stadium because of the love. You are even proud that you are going to do something for the nation. But it's not like that today. So I think we should really take good care of them to tap the potential in them. Thank you. If there is anything again that I have to say, I'll come up and say it later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to tell us a little about your sporting achievements, what you did particularly and how you were discovered.
Okay. You want me to talk about that?
Yeah, just a little bit,
Okay.
boast a little bit.
Okay.
Brag a little bit.
Okay. I attended primary school at Koforidua Sarkodie Memorial School, and one of the teachers saw the potential in me that I could be a good athlete. Actually, my family is athletic. My sister was, she even ran for the nation, Beatrice Efriye, and her nickname was "You Too Can Fly." And yeah, my younger brother was a high jumper. He participated in national sports. My younger sister was a table tennis player. We are a sports family. But I remember when I was in P5, I was asked to join the team to participate in a national no, it wasn't national, it was a regional sporting activity or sporting meet. But I was I was the reserve of the team. And there was this girl at that time, we do sports by height, and she was over the height. So I was drafted in, and nobody knew I could perform good, but the person who was spotted to win the race could not win the race. She was in a different school and everybody was scared of her. But because I was naive, I wasn't scared. And I won the 100 and 200 meters. I remember my daddy came with an umbrella to meet me whilst the meet was over. No, the race was over. And I was so elated. I was, I was overwhelmed. And from there on, they saw that, oh, this is someone who can, who has a potential, who can do something better. So they, the teachers started putting or taking the best out of me by training me. And when I went to Krobo Girls School, the same thing happened. I went to Accra Girls and I met Sister Alice in Accra Girls. And from there on, I excelled.
Yeah.
Is it Sister Alice Anum or?
Alice Anum.
Yes.
Alice Anum.
Sister Alice Anum, yes.
I want to make a contribution. For those of you who are grown and lived through the 50s before independence, there was the primaries, there was especially in Accra, there was what you call inter-schools, especially primary schools and middle schools.
Mm-hmm.
Competition. No, not Intako. Primary, and seniors.
Yeah.
Okay, and that people who came out of Intami, or no, primary schools were Mate Botwe. If somebody knows of Mate Botwe.
Heddles.
Heddles, right. And also Abekankra from Jamestown Government School. At the age of 9 years, he was playing for the school team. Okay, I went to government school, but what I'm saying is there was a competition between the primary schools, and also in the middle schools came Atipo, Zuenis, who else? Okante from Osude. Okay, now in 1962, 61, 62 school year, Ohene-Jan came up with a program where all schools, all secondary schools in Ghana were going to compete. It was similar to the format they have here for the NC2A. And that program brought out people like my friend here, Stan Alote and Alisano. In fact, if you look at it, Stan hadn't competed in sports, in track and field. He started in 1960, 61, 62 school year. And you look at it from 62 to 1966, that 4-year period, when he competed as a track star, in track and field, he won the Commonwealth Games in 220. Nobody knew of Stan Alote till 1961, 62. So if there is an organization, okay, I think we're going to get athletes from nowhere, from all these secondary schools from nowhere. But they diluted this down. I think the system around 72, 73, from inter-colleges to inter-regionals. Okay. People will run for their schools, put all they can into it, then running for a region. So we can go back. Okay, we don't really need to reinvent the wheel. We've done it before. It could be done again.
Yeah.
Okay, so unless they bring back inter-colleges, where at the end, this college or this secondary school won the championship like they do now, like they do here with the NC2A, I don't think we're going to really get anywhere when it comes to sports.
But excuse me. Look at what they're doing now. They even took the track out of the stadium, Accra Stadium, took it to the army barracks. So, yeah,
Wow.
We don't, nobody is going to go over there to watch.
So, if I may, moderator, can I ask the question? To what extent and in what ways are corruption and just simple inefficiency impacting the system? Corruption and inefficiency.
Oh, I think, Fifi, I think those may contribute, but it is the lack of institutional memory, which both Mr. Boateng and Mr. Alote are talking about. Institutional memory, like knowing how we organized. All these results did not come from nowhere. They came from a strong, integrated system which was built bottom up, like Mr. Boateng is saying. When I was at St. Augustine's, even though we had Intercor, one of the greatest days in St. Augustine's was when the St. Augustine's field was used by the middle schools.
For region.
Had the middle school, Intermi in Central Region, because there we could see the future stars coming up. Even as young people, we looked forward to seeing the young ones coming and predicting which of them were going to be national athletes. So it's really the institutional memory and the dissolution of all these organizations after the coups. That's really, I think, what has destroyed sports in Ghana.
Okay. Please, can I say something about the track?
Yes.
Okay. they've moved the track from Transport Stadium to Elwak Stadium, close to the airport. And how many people can transport or can have money to transport themselves from Osu, from Labadi, from Kotobabi, and so forth to Elwak Stadium?
That's my question.
There is no residential area there.
Transportation.
You know? And if I can't have money to transport myself to the Elwak Stadium, then what should I do? I have to sit and, be a spectator. And as I said, if we start from the grassroots, if we go to the schools, we can start from the primary schools to the secondary schools to tap these people, sometimes even through physical education, you can see what one can do and tap the potentials from them. You can start with, jogging or something. When someone is a good athlete or a born athlete, when the person is jogging or even walking, the heel doesn't touch the ground. I know that for a fact, yes, because when I joined the prison service as an athlete, and later on I became the sports director, I remember vividly, I was told I was marching on my toes, and I was forced, they literally taught me how to march on my heels. So we can tap from these people, from the grassroots. Otherwise, if we are sitting down for them to come out, we can't do anything. We won't get anywhere. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. If I can jump back in as
if I may also
moderator.
say something. I have been holding my thing here for quite a while. I would like to also chip in a little bit, if you don't mind.
Definitely.
Okay, my name is Linus Atara. I live in Finland. And just to pick on quickly, when we keep on emphasizing that we have to start from the grassroots and go through, approach the various schools and tap the potentials in there. Well, we may begin, we may use the schools as sources or pools of talent, but I think from my experience, having been living here in Finland for quite a long time now, we can also organize this, and we can also tap these potentials from a different source, like volunteerism, volunteerism rather. PAG would encourage the sports enthusiasts to start voluntarily, organizing football clubs, athletic clubs, boxing clubs from their communities. It is not all the time that the schools are able to have, one can tap this potential from the school. For one thing, the schools, you turn to them and they always talk of lack of resources. Oh, we don't have a football. Oh, we don't have a field, Oh, we don't have, just name it. They always complain thinking that it is the local authorities who must provide these things. But I think that if we begin by using local sports enthusiasts to organize clubs on the voluntary level, we can tap these kids. I'm talking from experience. My son has been playing football here in Finland. And in Finland, a lot of the sports is volunteer-based. Parents, parents, starting from parents usually, they start these voluntary clubs, sometimes attached to the local football clubs, like the junior forms of junior academies and things like that. And then they have nothing to do with the main club. They come out separately entirely and then organize the youth, girls, boys, whoever wants to play football. They have the time, they organize the timetables, they organize the training times, they organize the coach, all on voluntary basis. The coaches are all doing these things on voluntary basis. Now, if we do that, in the case of Ghana, for instance, if we're able to get these volunteers to initiate it, initiate organizing the youth, you know, it will be easier for us to approach, how would I say, sponsors. No, I don't like this idea, but let's say local wealthy people or business people who are interested. If you approach them and say, hey, listen, I'm running a club here, and then we like this. Now we're trying to promote this and that and so on, and then explain the significance of sports to this local businessman who can chip in with one or two things. Oh yeah, oh, I don't have, but you can take 100 cedis to buy ice water when you're doing your training. I mean, it starts from there. And then little by little, the recognition is gained, you know, that, oh, at that level, the number of people who become there, I mean, you don't join a football club if you're not interested in football. You don't join a sports, an athletic club if you're not interested. So first of all, this volunteer-based organization would identify or bring out all of these kids who are sitting there at home. Their parents would like them to do something, and yet they have nothing else to do. But if at the end of school, they have done their homework, or they on holidays, weekends, they can, you know, gather somewhere else and meet other people, I mean, their colleagues to play and run. This is where the thing starts. And then it builds up from there. My son, for instance, is now advancing gradually through the ranks, and he's aspiring to play at a higher level. And thanks to Finnish volunteers, if he ever becomes a national or international star, even perhaps he says he will play for Ghana Stars if he is able to, hopefully. Now, if he gets to that level, it will be all thanks to how sports is organized here on voluntary basis. And I'm usually, I don't know, I tell them that parents devote themselves, they really devote a lot of time and effort to organize these kids, you know, without any pay from anybody. The only payment is that the parents would pay to maintain the costs of, let's say, hiring a training venue. When it is winter, it's very cold. Obviously, you cannot play football outside. But then, voluntary basis, on a monthly basis, you know, they're able to secure this little fund money to secure indoor training facilities, and then it builds up from there. And so we should not rely just on the schools to be able to tap up these potentials for us. We should be able to, you know, find an alternative, maybe alongside the school system also.
Can I say something? What he's saying, yeah, it's a good idea, but our resources is different from that in abroad. I have 3 grandchildren. One is a cheerleader, 2 are football players, not soccer. 2 are football and basketball players. But we have to take them to the field for them to perform or to practice. But in Ghana, the Makola woman is sitting at Makola selling. She doesn't even know how to drive. How is she going to take his child or her child to the place of training? This is why I was saying that I volunteered to go to the schools, you know, to train or to tap the potentials from the schools. But unfortunately, my resources went low and I couldn't get anybody to help. These days, you know, it is very difficult to get money from individuals. I remember when I was the director of sports, I had to write a letter to philanthropists to help me get equipment for the teams. But most of them would not reply, only a few. And it's so disheartening. But if it were football, football people patronize. I don't know why. It's all over the world. But unlike the other disciplines, people don't want to come forward to participate or to finance the sportsmen and women. I remember, I'll tell you one incident. I remember when we went to Algeria for the All African Games, when we came back, the footballers were given fat sums of money, but the rest of us, we didn't get anything, even though I had 3 gold medals and 1 silver at the games, but I had nothing, not even a bicycle tie, So football is different from the other sports. So we have to advocate for people, as I'm saying, to volunteer, to go to them. They shouldn't, we have to go to them, to tap them, to tap the potentials out of them. Otherwise, we'll be faking or will not reach anywhere.
Okay, thank you. I think we're going to make sure we tap the queues, because I noticed a number of people have their hands up. But before I go to the queue, I just want to acknowledge a lot of what has been said. And I think PAG is, in everything we're hearing, PAG is in a position to actually look at some of the issues that have been raised and find solutions to them. And so we will hear some of the other people. For instance, one of the things that I want to actually raise attention to is, in everything we're hearing, it's also a big part in education and public relations in terms of sports, and putting it out there in terms of what our past accomplishments have been. When we look at what is happening even in Ghana now on TV, I mean, the networks have so much that they can be promoting, which have to do with national development and national promotional of our national image. None of that happens. So all of these things, I think, are things that we will also be discussing and looking into as we go forward. Now, I see that Dr. Asola first. I see your hand is up, is that right?
Yes.
And then we'll go to Kwame Oklu afterwards.
Thank you. I just wanted to, I'm sorry you did not, I did not share my PowerPoints when I was giving my presentation, but somewhere along the line, I did mention that sports is organized and physical education is structured. Now, sports and physical education feeds into each other, they coexist. And Brother Linus, what he's saying, we have the National Sports Council in charge of those, but it's not done correctly, it's not done really, but we can do better, and that's where PAG comes in. How can we harness organizational skills, like Brother Budu has some business knowledge, organizational knowledge, and many of you out there, how can we harness each other's intellect and run the sports, the National Sports Organization from grassroots up? We already know that. And I also mentioned, in terms of diversification, you realize that many of our sports, men and women, they get hit. Slight one, and they are out of their career. Sports medicine, sports injuries, sports administration, mentoring is very, very huge. Research. We have athletic training and physical therapy, exercise science, movement science. And there's a lot we can do from the university point of view. And those are some of the things that I missed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have Kwame Oklu. You're muted.
Yeah, thank you. I think that the discussion we've so far had are important, and all of them have to be taken on board. But I'm going to try and recollect, because I was part of the Young Pioneers, and during the Ohene-Jam period, what has happened to sports is not different from what has happened into the general life of Ghana after the country. Let us not run away from the fact Ghana have been placed in a mess after 24 February. And what is going on right now is a PR team. Nothing is working. But if we are going to focus on sports, Brother Kofi Boateng said something very useful, grassroots, and how we can organize it. And very effectively, in the 60s when I was in school, we had inter-primary schools, inter-colleges, even the inter-police service, the militaries have theirs. You know, when you go to a walk, the military come all over the 5th Barra, all of them. From there, we choose. And I remember out of that, there was one Idris who was a military man who became one of Ghana's leading long-distance runners. Michael Ahelegbe and all of them, they came through all these structures that Ohene-Jam put in place. But the basic thing we should be doing now is policy. We should put a policy in place. If the policy is in place, for instance, Sister Afriye should not go and obtain such wonderful gold medals and come home empty-handed. Because maybe Ohene-Jam even will have visited her at home as himself. But athletes and our sports women and men are ambassadors of the country. When you see people wrapping their flags around their body and all that, they are telling the world who we are. You see, so until we are able to go back, we don't need to reset the boundaries that is there. Ohene-Jam and all that, they've already established it. Let's go back to the Sankofa, let's go back and pick it. Pick what is good currently, because we are now in the 21st, 22nd century, so that we can pick together. I don't want to be part of a team that we will select athletes and people from the sports council, like what happened to us in Australia, where all the athletes, including all the sports council officials, have gone in to seek political asylum. This is what has happened to Ghana. It's not different from what our life has become since 24 February. So the thing I want to stress here is that sports, like Dr. Sola said, it has no boundaries. Sport doesn't know boundaries. If we are going to organize these things effectively, the current nonsense going on, this tribalism and all that, we could be able to use that to overcome it. Let's start from down there. Let's go from the primary, from the nursery, from the secondary, from the universities. The universities have inter-university games. I remember very vividly, you know, because I was a member of the Young Pioneers. We had our own games in Kumasi. We all travel all over the country. It is there that talents are picked. And Ohene-Jam and Dan Nkrumah knew how to organize in such a way that, for instance, why was it that we had a team called the Republicans and they were able to win almost everything? Because Ohene-Jam and Nkrumah, they knew what is important for the country in terms of sports, what sports will do to our image, what sports will do to our mental focus, how the child in my village will see me. Hey, Uncle Kwame was doing 100 meters, look at where he is. I also want to be like that. I mean, that is going to, and that must be our focus, please. Let us not start rewriting anything. Let's go back. Brother Kofi Boateng have said it. Brother Stanalote, yes, my uncle, who was a teacher in our village, spoke to me about him. Alisanum, Michael Ahelegbe, all of them. Let us not make effort. Our effort should be to create sports and athletes who must make us proud, who must be Ghanaians, who must make sure that the policies that is in place, if government changes, it's not diluted like what is currently going on, please. That is my view.
Okay.
Thank you. Interesting that you mentioned about the leaders, even policy development. Nkrumah had his own minister's soccer team that were an example for national image. We move on to, I see Evelyn Amando.
Evelyn, yes, she's
Amanda.
Yeah, it's Evelyn Amanda. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, Evelyn, oh, Amanda. Oh, sorry. Okay, go
problem.
ahead, please. Your
Yeah,
hand is up.
okay. I really enjoyed the whole thing. What I want to add on is what my dear sister was saying, that what she went through as an athlete, that the travel, she didn't get anything, and then the footballers got something. I think she has to create the awareness. It's about the awareness, the education, the advocating that she said. We have to let people understand this. It's a career. Somebody has a doctor, that's their profession. So you being an athlete that's your career. So if they understand it that way, that will let them put their energy, everything in it. But where we come from, they don't get it that way. They think it's only the footballers that if you play football, it's professional. So we push the footballers, we put them there. So if those that most of you you came from the athletes thing, you have to create that awareness in Ghana for people to understand that, listen, the country is struggling in so many things, but if we are able to put athletes up there or sports up there, it will even boost our economy. So it's creating an awareness. And then parents has to be responsible. As somebody said earlier on, here, I live in England. If you want your child or if you want your child or your children to do sports, you have to put your energy, your money, and everything in it. So if you say that, oh, they don't have the money to take a church or something from Accra to Elwak or to Stadium, they don't understand what it is. That is your child's career. So you have, just like you push somebody to be a doctor, a nurse, or a teacher, that is his or her career. So you will find the money for your child or to help your child to get to Elwak, which is near airport where she was saying, or to go to Accra Sports Stadium, wherever that you are. So we have to make the parents responsible too, so that they will know that this is what it is. We shouldn't place the responsibility only on park or on the government. The parents has to be responsible. They have to get involved so that whatever that the idea behind the whole thing will go forward. And we are in 21st century, getting to the 22nd century. Yeah, the old things, it really, we did, when I was in secondary school, we did interco, we did so many things. And there is this saying that says, catch them young before they grow. So let's start from the primary school. So when I'm in university and then now you're not going to catch me to do sports, I'm not interested. But if somebody as young as from primary school and the child is interested in running, whether the long distance or the short distance or playing hockey or whatever, they started from primary school, so they know where they're going before they get to college or university or wherever. If somebody is in university, and then you are going to tell them, no, so we should start from, or parks should start from primary school, catch them young before they grow. So it will become a mindset thing that the child is working towards, just as the other people, the other children that are working towards. You ask somebody, what do you want to be in future? Oh, I want to be an athlete, just like Usain Bolt, or I want to be just like one of you. You see, so, and you guys to put yourself out there as role models that the children would like to look up to. We don't have that in Ghana. They don't see those things that, oh, today is my first time that hearing some of you like, oh, so this person used to run for Ghana. Da, 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 da. So you have to be out there for the kids to know that, oh, this man, he did this for Ghana. He ran 100 meters. This woman did 200. This person played hockey. This, da, da, da. That is a role model that the Ghanaian child is always looking up to you, same bold. What about us? So this is what I also have to share. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I see. Yes, Mr. Alote has his hands up. Can I?
Yeah, I just want to make one point. The government in Ghana, what we need to do is to diversify the sports program. The way it is now, everything is concentrated on soccer. They actually treat track and field like it's insignificant. So nobody really gives a damn. And that is why, you know, the other parts of the sports are going down. And even the soccer is not doing as well as we thought. So secondly, we have to be very serious about this, because looking at track and field, this is what made me what I am today. I went through Interco, and through Interco, I was able to go to the Commonwealth Games and won the 2 gold medals. And through that, I was awarded a scholarship to come over here. And I did my degrees and everything, and that's what made me what I am. So it's quite an adventure, you know. If we gotta train, you know, the minds of our youth to know that it's rewarding to get into sports. Thank you.
Thank you. I see Hillary Adongo. You have your hand up? Yes.
Yes. Okay. It's good evening here. Well, I first want to commend the presenters for provoking our thoughts on some of the issues that we are discussing now. I make my point. I just want to add to the second but last speaker that sometimes I think that parents have a challenge in their economic situation. So parents may be willing to support their children, but the truth is that they don't have the capacity to be able to do that. So it may not necessarily be an issue of irresponsibility, but it's the issue of parents not having the capacity. As you are aware, if you are in Accra and you have to be moving around every day without a means of your own, you know how much that means, and that's a lot for a lot of people to be able to bear. So just that's just to add up to the point that was made earlier. But to the main point I want to make, 2 weeks ago, I was part of a discussion that I facilitated. A few months ago, when Maradona died, the numbers of people that I've never seen before in my life for a funeral. And so I reached out to one of my comrades in Argentina for us to have a discussion. And we organized a meeting 2 weeks ago to have a discussion on the role of sports in pushing the socialist agenda, for instance. And we discussed some issues or the involvement of Maradona and all that in some activities, including endorsing the Cuban Revolution and all that. The point that I want to make from these two discussions is the fact that once we are talking about the development of sports, I think that sports is one of the most potent tools that we can be able to use to mobilize people. And I feel that sports is more effective at mobilizing than religion. So what I think we can also be thinking about as PAG is that how do we ensure that we can be able to build, athletes and sportsmen and women from scratch who can become national and international icons that can also rally a lot of support for the cause that we are running. So just to bring our attentions to the point that was made earlier, that it is a tool, or sports is such a potent tool for organizing, that we can look at it from that point of view, that in 10 years, can PAG be able to raise an athlete who will have national relevance and be able to use his fame to be able to, push the agenda of the party forward, and socialism for that matter. So that's just the point that I wanted to make. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I just want to go back to the point about parents and the responsibilities and the difficulties of getting their children to various sports stadiums. I think one of the things we've talked about in terms of PAG looking into what can happen, we've raised volunteerism. I live in Canada, and yes, our system is different, but then we have things like carpooling. And if we're talking about volunteerism, there can be organized groups in the local areas. Someone might volunteer to pick up different people. So there are ways around it, and I think we are going to put our minds to how it gets done if we decide on the various policies and routes that we will go. So this is one of the areas I wanted to throw out so that we think about as well. I see we also have Sister Efriye who has her hand up. Is she here?
Yeah.
Oh,
you're muted.
Okay, actually, I was going to talk about the volunteerism of the parents, but it looks like Sister has talked about it. But one thing that I want to bring out, and I said it earlier on, that the Makola woman selling in Makola will never leave the goods that she's selling to take her child to the training grounds to train. So what our sister said comes in place, that there should be a carpool or something like that, because the resource, as I said, the resources here in abroad is different from that in Ghana. In fact, even if the parents are educated, some of them will do it, but most of them won't. Like this girl, Matabisa, in the village, if a coach or someone had not gone there to tap her out, she would have rotten there. You see, the mother wouldn't bring her out, the father wouldn't, nobody would have brought her out until someone went there to bring her out. So if we compare the system here to that in Ghana, I don't think it will work. But I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, as we've said before, there are different systems, but there are ways around it. And so
that's right. That's right.
We'll have to look into, and we will be discussing all of that.
Can I say something, please?
Oh,
I want to say, yes. I want to say something about Sister Alice. You know, for all that she did for the nation, she paid for a housing in Ghana. She fully made payment. But can you believe that up till today, she hasn't gotten her allocated house? And she hasn't even been paid back. If her child wants to participate in sports for the nation, what do you think will be the response of her? You know, it's so disheartening. So we have to take note of these things and to disseminate sports, the benefits in sports, apart from winning medals. We have to disseminate the benefits to the body, to the people. You know, we have to lure them to participate in different types of sports for the nation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Can I
we're
bring
coming to
something?
the end of our program, so we'll
Can I
hear a few more.
Yeah.
Is that Evelyn? Are you wanting to say something?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. What I wanted to say is, I said something. I think you guys didn't get it. If we made them to see it as a career, most people don't see being an athlete as a career. They don't see it that way. They don't. But if you know that this is my child's career, that is what, as somebody being a doctor, blah, blah, blah. So the Mokola woman won't go to wherever that the child is going, but she will make a way for the child to go because she knows that is my child's future. So that's changing the narrative, the mindset of how we see the athletes and sports in Ghana. Because we have sports people in the police service. Somebody is a boxer, they get the chance to go to the police, prisons, migration, customs. So if they know that this thing will lead my child entering the Ghana police service, the immigration service, the fire service, the blah, blah, they will do something for their children to get it. So if we cannot insist and say, we know that the systems are different, yes, but as my dear sister said, we can make it work. That is your child's future. So make it work. The way you will push a child to become a teacher or whatever, that is their life. So make it work. They will make it. We have to put it, we have to change the myth and the mindset of these things for it to work. If we really, really want it to work, that is how we have to do. We have to let them understand it. This is your child's career. So wherever that you are, PAC is helping you a little bit. You have to help PAC, and the government will come in a little bit so that it will be successful. Thank
Where
you.
is the incentive? There is no incentive. So
okay,
we
will
Phyllis,
my hand has been up for
just 1 minute. I just want to talk about.
Can I put you on hold? We have Gilbert who has been waiting to speak. So go ahead, Gilbert.
Yeah, thank you very much. In some ways, in a lot of ways, I support what Evelyn Amanda said. Some of these parents will pay for extra classes for their children. Mm-hmm. Their children will get on Trotro and go to the various schools for extra classes. So once you allow the parents to understand that these children, whatever event or club they go into, is their future career, they will be willing to sacrifice. We need to change the narrative. And the narrative is they need to know that you can earn from being an athlete. Mm-hmm. By doing that, these parents will be willing to sacrifice whatever money they have. If they have to pay for math classes or if they have to pay for geography classes, they will be willing to invest. And that's the key point. Invest in your child. to be an athlete because you know that that will be their future. And to touch on the voluntary side of things, I think we need a private department to help. The private sector can help a lot in this area, because if you have a private institution coming in and saying, yes, this is my investment, I'm willing to sacrifice or invest this amount of money, they will be looking for these kids that no one would see, because they know what the long-term benefit will be for them.
Mm-hmm.
So by working hand in hand with the private industries, you will be able to tap into the kids that no one will be looking at. Because you have a government institution, the sort of corruption that goes on in our country, the sort of friends and family mindset that we have, a lot of these kids will go through the system without being noticed because no one knows them. They don't have friends in various departments where, or their parents don't know, let's say big people. So they will not be spotted. But if you work with the private industries, they don't care, because at the end of the day, they know that they're putting in their money as an investment. So what they're gonna get at the end of the day, however good the individual performs, which is in the UK, they do similar things. You go to some of these clubs, they take the kids on from, well, like someone said, from the voluntary side of things. But they invest in these kids and then gradually push them into the various clubs. And through that, the clubs then come back with to them and donate stuff and invest within that little club. So that's how you can build a system, by involving the private sector, not just the voluntary side, but the private department can help a lot as well.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Kwame Oklu. Unmute.
Thank you, Philip. Just very briefly, one about talent. During the Nkrumah years, some head teachers specifically were instructed to spot talents at events. I'm being honest with you, because I was one. It's something that if we have the policy in place, it can happen, just like that. Two, about Sister Afriye's comment and her concern about, of course, she's genuinely true, about rewards. The Nkrumah years, there were scholarships meant specifically for children with such talents to go and become ambassadors. So what our emphasis should be, the policy. If we have it in place tomorrow, please, let us forget about what is currently going on in our place. And let's focus on what we can do, put together a policy that can manifest itself. The rewarding system was there. Ohene-Jan will arrange for a talented sports person. We had Ghanaians who went outside through scholarship to go and learn and use sports as part of that. So let's focus on that, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Brother Kofi, you were going to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring back something that I had started to introduce. We've had a lot of good suggestions, but I also wonder, do we identify inefficiencies in organization, corruption? Are these factors that are affecting the current status? I haven't heard much about that. Does any of the either Hannah or Stan, do you have anything to say to that? Corruption and inefficiencies in the system currently, compared to the past?
I don't know if it's compared to the past, but the same things that went on so many years ago are still going on. I mean, one thing about the system now, or in the past, they don't know how to nurture athletes. Nurturing athletes is very, very, very important. I mean, the way athletes are being treated I had the treatment in Ghana, and I had the treatment over here. When I came over here, they helped me like, you know, an angel, you know, the way I was running, and when I was on the campus, and you know, you see, but in Ghana, they don't. I mean, they don't give a damn about you. You know, they don't give a damn about athletes, and it pains. You know, I came back from Jamaica with 2 gold medals, and I didn't have a job for 1 whole year. Can you believe that? And I mean, you know, it went on until I was able to get a scholarship to come over here.
Mm.
And so, I mean, we don't know how to treat athletes. There's a way to handle athletes. And we have to learn that. Our coaches have to learn that. The officials have to learn that.
Mm.
They rather steal the money that is supposed to go to the athletes. And I've seen it, you know, myself. I know it's amazing why they would do things like that.
Yeah.
So we have to be very attentive, and they athletes just caring.
Show that you care.
Caring, you know, takes a long way. How to care about the athletes, and when you care about the athlete, and the athlete feels like, you know, you are concerned about him, he does better.
Yeah. So, Sister Hannah, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing out this, how would I, the problem, for bringing out this problem.
Yeah.
It's very essential that we really treat the athletes with dignity and respect, you know, and with the corruption, I believe when this is speculation, but I know that these days when an athlete of yours run in a race or participate in a meet abroad, the coaches are given something, but they don't tell us. You know, there was one time when we were on our way to Montreal, we went, no, not to Montreal, to Munich.
Yeah.
There was this game that we had nothing to do with it. And at that time, I was in top shape, you know, and the coach, Mr. Jintete, asked me to go and participate in the track meet, whilst I hadn't even done any warming up. I told him, Coach, I haven't done any warming up. This comes up to where the coaches should have their athletes at heart, you know, and he asked me to go and participate. And I was the youngest among the sportsmen at the time. And, you know, I had to obey him. Lo and behold, we had 2 weeks to the Munich Games. Lo and behold, I had a muzzle pull because I didn't warm up. So the corruption there is still lingering on. You know, how can a whole minister travel with the team without giving them their money, you know, their allowance? It's so disheartening. And as Brother Stanley said, if they will start giving incentives, if the coaches will care for the athletes, if the authorities will care for the athletes. Sometimes they will use, or they will travel with fat monies and then give the athletes $3 a day. You see, whereas they will be receiving $20 during those times, I'm talking about those times, whereas they will be having $20, $50 a day, and the athletes will be given $3 a day for whatever they will use it for. Imagine if they travel for 1 week, then he is going to have $21. What is $21 going to buy? So we have to, as my brother said, we have to care for the athletes, and this will bring the interest in them. Imagine I'm not treating well. How can I, right now, as I said, before we did it for the love of it, but right now, if someone is not treated fairly, how can the person bring out the best in him? He cannot. He will not do it. But if we give them incentives, if they are treated well after training, or you get this to take transport to your home. I remember Ohene-Jan did friendship and unity games every Sunday when there is a football match, and we never took transport from the school. Sister Alice and I, we never took transport from the school to the stadium by ourselves. Ohene-Jan arranged transportation for us. They will come and pick us from school, and after the competition, we'll be given milk, Milo, sugar, and whatnot before we are taken back to school. So we were looking forward to this Sunday every time, because we knew that we will have something to take back to school. So if we organize such things and we take good care of the athletes, it all boils down by taking good care of them. The professional athletes here, if we are saying that sports is profession, are they being paid back home? They are not being paid, but here they are paid. So the parents know that, oh, if my athlete or if my child goes in for sports here, he will be paid, she will be paid. What about Ghana? Are they being paid? Not even giving them incentives. How much more being paid? So we have to be thinking about all these things. The child here, there is a 7-year-old who is saying that I'm going to play football, I'm going to play basketball, and I know that when I grow up, I'll be like this person, I'll be like that person. He knows all their names. What about Ghana? What is he going to get out of the sports he's doing? What is she going to get? If someone doesn't recommend him or her to come to abroad for studies or to get scholarship to come over here, then he will sit there and rot. Even though she will get medals upon medals upon medals, she will sit there and rot. He will sit there and rot without getting a penny. I'm talking, but B. Bashiru got sick. He had done so much for the nation, and he was to be operated upon. Just for people to donate for his operation, they couldn't. Nobody did, and he died. Ametepe, the same thing happened to Ametepe. Ametepe was sick, and he didn't get any help. One of the boxers, he got mad. I've forgotten his name, I'm sorry. He got insane and he wasn't helped. He was walking on the streets, you could see that he was mad. Couldn't they have, brought him to the mental institution to treat him? But nobody did it. So it is the caring. We should care for our sportsmen and women.
Thank you so much.
I feel so sad about talking about this.
Yes, you make a very, very good point. I see we have a lot of people wanting to chip in and have a lot to say. This has been a very exciting and enlightening discussion that we've had here. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but I'm sure we will have an opportunity to do this again.
Mm-hmm.
So at this time, I want to thank everybody personally, and especially I want to put a shout out to not just all the athletes that have come on, but also I want to put a special shout out to Mrs. Violet Aluti for encouraging, and actually I spoke with her personally, and I knew she was going to make sure that they both came on. So I thank you very much for coming yourself, and also for Dr. Aluti, I'm sorry, Ms. Aluti, Stan Aluti, coming on. So thank you, Violet, very much.
All right, thank you. You're welcome.
At this time, I will pass it back over to our chair to close the meeting.
Brother Kwesi will do that.
Okay.
Yeah, before he does that, I just want to appeal for all those of you who have come here. The PAG is an organization, it's a party that we are forming, and we hope that, you will join us, leave your details. I'm sure we have your details. It's very important. We're looking for an alternative part of politics. We're looking at sports and the socialism, what the competition it will bring, the help that it will bring. So we hope that you will come to our activities and then also be part of the PAG. Over to you.
Please continue to attend the town halls. We have all sorts of topics that we discuss, which are very, very exciting and progressive. So we look forward to seeing you in future town halls as well.
Can I say one thing before? I am very touched by what our sister and Brother Aluti talked about. The only way we as PAG members will be able to address it is to document all those experiences, vicarious experiences. And I, as a researcher, I can chronicle it, or anyone out there so we have a document to say, okay, this is what PAG has heard from the past athletes, and this is what PAG intends to do differently. And we make a case for PAG.
Okay.
Excellent, thank you. All right. I think it's time.
Yeah, Brother Kwesi.
Yes.
Please give the vote of thanks.
Okay. We thank everybody for attending. I think this is one of our biggest attendances. So we impressed with the diverse opinions that all of you shared. But PAG, as you know, we are trying to bring an alternative to the government. We don't shy away from being an Nkrumah's party. We don't. So anybody who come out here and share this idea with us, or we are on equal terms with them, we appreciate. But let's hope that we can actually become a government in the future, because that's our ultimate goal. And when we become a government, the things that we will do, what we've heard from all of them, and I free especially about the athletes not being taken care of into their retirement and all of these things. We want to showcase the athletes. We want to showcase not just the athletes, but any talented person in the country. We even intend someday, we hope that we'll have sports scholarships for the athletes to go to special sports institutions. Okay, because it's difficult for the average Ghanaian we're listening to you to even be interested. When the child goes out to play and they come home, sometimes they get spanked. They'll get spanked because you're not home to do domestic chores. We want to change the mindset of Ghanaians, the mothers and the fathers that are using sports will rather enhance the children's education and their standing in society. So we thank all of you. We'll do this and we'll send you our flyers. And when you get the flyers and you have the chance, please come on and join us and share your ideas, because this is not just park ideas. We want ideas from everybody, and then we'll mine it and select the best ideas to implement. So everybody in the country will have something to do and to be proud of. We thank Mr. Alote for not even being the Ghana Sports Hall of Fame. Okay, we don't have that. We don't have anything.
Not yet.
Not yet. These guys have put down their lives and their times. I wanted to hear about Hannah Efri, how she was discovered. And she told us that if somebody hadn't gone out there, she would be just a rough diamond and nobody would know her. But that is what we want to go back to and do. So to make it short, we spent a lot of time on this topic and we've heard all of you. And we thank you very much for attending today's meeting and hope to see you again. Thanks.
Shall we give a round of applause?
All right.
To Stanley and Hannah. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This
We'll
has
do it
been
again.
wonderful, everybody.
It's a
Thank you.
pleasure.
We'll do it again.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have
All
a
right.
good weekend, everybody,
All right.
and a good week next week.
And you.
All right. We'll continue.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye for now.
Nicholas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nicholas.
Yeah.
Nicholas.
Yes.
I haven't heard your voice today.
The meeting is adjourned. Those who have
Are you provoking?
Well, because I was looking forward to hearing from you. Your 100 meters you did at Tamale Secondary School. Said nothing about that.
Okay. Bye for now.
They went to Notre Dame.
Oh, okay.
and second D.
All right.
So
Then.
Okay. Bye-bye.
And also, before you people go, please bring young people to join this meeting. I have managed to bring 2 so far. So please, let's get young people to join us, please.
Yes, that's
important.
We want exponential growth.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And thank you, Ni, for coming. Thank you for this attendance today.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.